Hello! I hope you're all doing well today. Today we are doing something a little bit different. And as you might have noticed, this is a bit of a different kind of format, as this is not a live stream, but a recording. And we got a hand cam! Woo! And that is because today we're going to be doing a Vtuber unboxing and tech review kind of thing. As I thought it would be kind of cool and fun to do this, and that's why we got a hand cam today. And I know this probably isn't the most professional looking setup, but I like it. I think it's cool. Anyways, today we are reviewing and looking at, unboxing, all that shit. The, should I put it this way? RG34XX. This is made by Anbernic. Let me see if I can get it a little bit closer. You can kind of read it. Made by Anbernic. And it is basically a Game Boy Advanced style retro system emulator. I'll read off some of the specs real quick that this is. Has a 3.4 inch IPS full view angle screen with a CPU of a H700 quad core ARM Cortex, all these fancy numbers and stuff like that. Dual core G31 MP2, LP DDR for 1 GB of RAM, storage of 32 GB. We also have, for this one I got, a 64 gig as well. It has 2 spots for RAM. Has a Linux 64-bit system. And basically this thing can play up to about, obviously Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 1, PSP, some of them because it doesn't have an analog, but it has the little D-pad thing here. Anyways, though, this thing also comes in multiple different colors. You can get it in the original indigo, which is the color on the box here, but not the color I got. I'm not going to say what the color is until we unbox it. But you can also get it in a black, a transparent red, a transparent green, and a glacier. Now, I think it's time. Oh, wait, this thing also has a Wi-Fi Bluetooth of a 2.4, 5 gig Wi-Fi. Whatever you'd use that for, I'm not really sure. It's not what I'm going to be using this for. Basically, it's going to be my retro nostalgia based system. Anyways, let us unbox it. Oh, there we go. As you can see here, it's got a little bit of stuff showing, but it's still kind of hidden. I'm gonna open that. See if there's anything else at the bottom of the box here, because it usually does come with some extra stuff. And it did! Oh! Okay, it's not in there. So here is our 64 extra gig storage right there. Put that aside. They gave us some screen cleaners and screen wipes because in here, if I can get it out, they give us a protective screen for it that we can install, and we'll probably will do that. But for now, I'm going to set those to the side. Little manual of the device, how it works, or instructions. Oh, it doesn't. It folds open. It folds open. Okay, so fold. Yeah, does that. It doesn't flip through like I thought it would. And we get a wrist holder. I'll be honest, I don't know why I would need this or why anybody would. It's not like it's the Wii remote where you'd like just throw it around, be whipping it around. I mean, maybe if you want to, you can. I would never say to do that or recommend it, but hey, you know what? Crazy people out there. Put that off to the side. And I'm going to make sure there's nothing else in this box, because it should also have a charger, which is probably what's in this box here. I know I just ripped that. I have a bad habit doing it. Scratched my nail. Wiped some of the polish off. Wow, the box was sharp. Oh, it's probably because I hit the edge. It doesn't matter. Anyways, charger. Yeah. Did not mind me hitting my microphone. Alright, now let's get to the big thing. Pulling this bad boy out. Can you kind of see what color I went with? You would probably assume, knowing me, I would have gone with black. But you're wrong! I went with the Glacier. because I think the Glacier looked very, very nice. It looked cool on the thing. I am trying very hard not to point this at me by accident. But yeah, okay. Looks cool. Very nice. Do not point this thing at me, I swear to God. Ooh. If I do, I'd probably just cut it out. Anyway, though, so this is the device. Let us try to get the screen on. Do that. Okay, I think you do the wet one first, so it's 1. Look at that. So nice they label it for you. Why am I doing that noise? I don't know. Don't judge me. I probably don't need a screen protector, but always good to do it. Why not? Why not? They gave it to us for free. Might as well use it. Right. Okay, let me get my dry one. I hope to God I didn't just make this worse. Sometimes I feel like I could make this worse by doing this type of thing. Okay, let me pull this out. And okay, so this part goes on like that because it's gonna be curved. The curve goes on the bottom. Okay, and just line it up at the corner and set. And it's taking, it's going. I'm just gonna use my little knuckle there and then just drive that on in, and I think it is perfectly set. I'm gonna just go over one more time with the dry cloth. All right, now real quick, I'm gonna boot it up, but before I do that, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a button sound test. So we're gonna bring it up close to the mic. It's off screen. Those were the A, B, and X and Y. If I can actually bring this up close here, it's probably really hard to see. But on here, there's a little X logo, there's a little Y logo. And to make sure it's maintained the kind of aesthetic, they kept it as the color of the background here. So that way it kind of blends in. So it's like, wow, that looks like a, Game Boy Advance. So these are now, I'm going to press the shoulder buttons. Okay, here's the D-pad. And the start and select, because why not? So yeah, overall, not a very noisy device, which, good. Personally, I don't really care, but, for those who are like, man, I don't want this thing to be loud, you don't gotta worry about it. Yeah, so overall, not a very noisy device. You don't have to worry about, like, it being very clickety or clackety. I didn't think it would be, and personally, it doesn't really bother me if it did or did not. But for those of you who would be wondering if it would be, now you don't gotta worry. Because now you know it's not. Here, I'm trying to watch my finger. Here is where you're going to be charging it. And here is a micro HDMI port. So if you want to put it into a computer or a TV screen, you should be able to do it just like that. Back here are your 2 memory ports. And then upside down here you have the volume button, which it's not a button, but it's a little scroll wheel. What the? Oh, that's interesting. It has a little flick to it. So you just do this, and instead of it scrolling like a wheel, it's kind of like a little switch. It just flicks like that. You go to the direction. Then you got your aux port there, right? That's what the fuck that's called. Haven't used that forever. And our power buttons right down here. All right, I'm gonna boot this up, and we'll check out a couple games on it. Alright, so here's some footage of me playing Silent Hill 1 for the PlayStation 1.
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl? Where are you going? Hey, wait! Stop! Was I dreaming?
How do you feel?
Oh, like I've been run over by a truck. But I'm alright, I guess.
Glad to hear it. You from around here? Why don't you tell me what happened?
Wait a second, I'm just a tourist. I came here for a vacation. I just got here. I don't know what happened.
Alright, here's the original Castlevania for the NES. Okay, here's the original Doom for the SNES. Now we're going to move on to doing some Rampage World Tour for the Game Boy Color. And here I thought we would end it on a classic. A classic I unfortunately never got to play, but a classic nonetheless, and that being Metroid Zero Mission for the Game Boy Advance. And I thought, what better way to end the kind of showcase with a Game Boy Advance emulator than by playing a Game Boy Advance game. So that was a quick unboxing and look at of the Anbernic RG34XX, which is essentially the Game Boy Advance emulator. Overall, I think this device is very cool, is very good. I very much like the design. I like the nostalgia factor. Even though I never had a Game Boy Advance myself, I had the SP. I do love the design of the Advance though. I always thought it was just really unique, really cool, but I never had one. But this kind of lets me live out that little bit of fantasy with it. I will say, in certain terms, like with holding these back here, is a little it's kind of comfortable and kind of awkward at the same time. It's a weird mixture between like how you hold it with holding the buttons here. Like when I'm holding it, obviously this is a little bit more awkward because I'm trying not to have this pointed at me, but when you essentially would do it, you're doing it like this, and it isn't the worst thing. Like, it's not like super uncomfortable, but it also feels like your hands can easily get in the way of each other, and especially if you have big hands, it's definitely like they could easily get in the way of each other. But it isn't the most uncomfortable thing in the world. It is definitely doable and isn't too bad, but it is something to note. Also, another thing to note, the SD cards that go back here, or micro SD cards that go back here, are kind of a pain in the ass to actually get out. I had to use a little like poker thing I had in order to push the one that wasn't in the 64 one that had the games. In order to get that in here, I had to give a little poker to push it in, because no matter how much I tried with my finger, it would not get it out, or it wouldn't push it in enough to click in. And it's with this one that was already in the poker, I had to use the poker in order to get it out because my finger wouldn't get in there to pop it out. So there is also that to note. And final thing I will say, the D-pad, again, it's not terrible. Like, I can't compare it to how the Game Boy Advance was. I imagine it's kind of maybe the same, but there are some moments where when you're like pushing, and if your thumb, like my thumb covers basically this whole thing, if it's pushing too much on one angle, so like even if you're pushing up and but you hit a slight like left or right with it, the left and right parts of the D-pad will pick up that movement, and it could start making you go in those directions if you're just trying to go straight. Not terrible, not horrible, but it is something to know with it. Outside of that, though, I generally liked it. It has a great picture. The picture quality on this is amazing. Just like looking at that, it's like that is so clear. That is so crisp. It is so colorful. It is just very well lit. It is a great screen. I love the buttons. The buttons feel great. Holding this feels great. If you're trying, for me personally, I prefer to actually just hold it like this. I don't even have these on there. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But in a lot of the games I'm playing, I'm not going to need these too much. But if I ever do play like one that does need it, it's, you know, just quickly move the fingers up. Or I can even use these to go down. Kind of like when you hold a regular controller, you can easily do it like that. Like when I hold an Xbox controller, my hand isn't like, I don't have two fingers on each, like the bumper and the trigger. I usually have like the one finger that's doing a little bit of both. Sometimes if you need both, you can, but mostly it's just the one. So not terrible. And again, buttons feel great. D-pad is usable. I wouldn't say it's the best, just because sometimes, you know, it's reading alternative movements if you're trying to do something, but that could also just be a me problem. So skill issue. I mean, start select. I don't know what else to say about that. And they work. They do what they're supposed to do. And I really love, it has great volume. The volume on this is really good. So that also gets a plus. Just to know, you could also put it into like a sleep mode like this, and it's still running. As you saw, I turned it on by just clicking the power button. If you want to shut it off and completely, well, if you want to completely shut it off, you need to hold the power button. And if you want to completely turn it on, you need to also hold the power button. If it's completely shut off, hitting the power button won't turn it on. You need to hold it for a little bit. So just another little bit of information. But yeah, overall, as far as for the review part of this goes, I would give it, do I do scores? I don't know if I do scores. I think it's solid. I think it's good for what it's achieved, what it's trying to do, what it's trying to achieve. I personally think is really good. It hits a nostalgia factor. It kind of gives me that old school vibe of when I used to see other kids with it. And now I kind of get to relive that by having my own now, in a way. And it's in a way that I have all the games in one thing. So while I don't get the satisfaction of like, oh, pull the cartridge out, put the new one in the back here, you don't get that. I technically did through the one SD card. That was a pain in the ass to put in, and I don't want to ever take it out to do it again. Hi there, post-production, Mykah here. A couple other things I wanted to add to this review that I didn't get to add when recording this part. So this is coming in a little bit later. One is this thing has an amazing battery. It lasts up to about 7 hours, it says. And literally the longest I've played it so far is somewhere between 4 and 5. And literally looking at the battery, it was like at halfway. And I'm like, that. So this thing lasts a long time. It has a good battery, a nice, good charge to it. So very solid on that part. Then the second thing I also wanted to mention is, so this is the exact same size and dimensions as the original Game Boy Advance. So, as someone with adult-ish hands, it is a little cramped, I would say, potentially. Because as I've played it for a little bit longer, it's been a couple days, I've been playing it for longer times, longer hours, I noticed, and I'll have a little bit of a video up here to show, my thumb would sometimes sit kind of weird on it, to where it's like bent a little bit too far back, and it's caused a little bit of like not a cramp, I wouldn't say cramp, that's a little over exaggeration, but a little discomfort around the thumb area. And it's just because of how far I'm holding it back. And maybe I could like adjust my hands in a way to where they like kind of sit straighter like they would in like a normal controller. But I did think I should mention that, as that's something I have noticed as I've been playing it as the days have gone on. Sorry, I had a soda. But yeah, something that I thought I should mention is just with a little bit of the thumb. It isn't horrible, like I said. It's a little bit of a discomfort, but if you have like really big hands or something, that is something I think you should know and have kind of in a precaution in a way for if you wanted to get one of these. It's the very exact same size and dimension, so maybe you also might already have your hands be like, you know what, I played this all my childhood, so my hands are built for this, they're adjusted for this. But I still wanted to mention nonetheless. And again, battery is so good. It is so good. It says it lasts up to 7 hours, 4 to 5 hours I played, and it got to about halfway at most. Or not at most, I think at least. I think it had actually more battery to it. So, something cool I thought I'd just mention. But yeah, overall, I would highly recommend this if you are a fan of the Game Boy Advance, if you want to play like something that's like an easy pocket emulator for old retro games. This is an easy pickup, and I'll have the link for this. I think there's 2 links, 2 ways you can get it. One is through the Anbernic website themselves, and the other's through an Amazon link as well. You can get it on either one if you'd like to get it. I recommend it. They have alternative colors again, so whatever one you'd want, what color. They don't have that pink. I know there is like a pink that's like this, where it's like that kind of transparent. They don't have that, and I don't know if they're going to get it. So if you wanted that one, unfortunately, they don't have it. But maybe they'll have it in the future, so keep your eyes open. Apparently, this was not ready on day 1, this glacier color I got. This came later, so they could add it. And sometimes they do like little updates to it as well, so you never know. But if you'd like one, I'm going to have the link for both the Anbernic website and the Amazon link. So if you'd like to go down and get one yourself, you can. Easy peasy. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope it was kind of informative in a way. I hope this answered some questions maybe you had if you've seen this before, but you want to know them or whatnot, or see how it plays certain games, things like that. Either way, I hope this video was enjoyable and potentially, hopefully, informative enough. And we will probably be doing more stuff like this potentially in the future. But yeah, if you liked it, sick. Happy you liked it. Happy it came out good. Means I did good. But yeah, that's going to be it for here. So thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate you taking the time to watch this and listen to my nonsensical rambling a little bit. Either way, though, make sure you all are taking care of yourselves. As per usual, what I say. Make sure you all are taking care of yourselves, staying hydrated, staying well fed, staying well rested. And I hope you have a good day, night, and or evening. And I'll catch you later. Peace.